Hey everybody, welcome back to the Badgerland Birding Podcast, bringing you birding news and stories from the Badger State and beyond. Today we're joined by Ryan Rodriguez, who is a young birder in South Texas. How you doing, Ryan?
Uh,
Broadcasting from your car today?
yes, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're doing pretty well also. Yes, it looks like you're in a cave. So that's the first time we've had someone broadcast from the car, which is cool. But I think just calling Ryan a young birder is probably not accurate because I've seen news articles about Ryan saying that he was a prodigy when he was a little kid. So he's one of the most famous young birders in South Texas, I would say.
Oh,
Not disputing it. He was just like, yeah, that's true.
do you feel like you're famous in South Texas, Ryan?
Oh, I wouldn't say so, no.
So how old were you when you started, and then how old are you now?
I it's kind of blurry to me. I've been birding just kind of as long as I can remember, or more just interested in birds and nature just as long as I can remember. Probably had a pair of binoculars since I was like 3 or 4. But yeah, I don't know, and I'm 16 now, so I've been birding a while.
And your parents aren't really birders, right? Like they didn't get you into it. You did it on your own.
No, yeah, no one in my family is a birder. It's really a mystery to me how it came about.
I picture you being like three and your parents was like, I don't know how those pair of binoculars got there. You just had them. It just materialized.
Yeah, I've heard a story. I don't know if this is true or not.
It's a legend now.
I know. I
Yeah,
love how he has lore about himself that is not true. It's real.
uh, so that somehow we had like a Sibley bird book in our house, and that I picked that book like when I was 2 or 3, and just started like flipping through it, and that's how I got interested. I don't know if that's true or not. Um, Seems like it could be possible, but yeah.
I like to believe that's true. I remember when I was like 4 or 5, flipping through like books on birds, and I would just be fascinated by the owl section, you know. So I remember there was this one book that we had. It was like a little paperback, and I would always like read it backwards because the owls were first, and I just wanted to get to the owls right away. So I was just like, yes, owls immediately in this book when I was 4 years old. So I get it. I feel you.
So what's it like being younger and well, first of all, you're homeschooled. So I feel like a lot of young birders are homeschooled because you guys have
Massive
way
advantage.
much more time to go
Right.
out and look for stuff, which is cool. But
Yeah.
what's it like being young and being a birder? Because predominantly it's, people over, I would say like 50, although
85.
we're getting more younger people into it, kind of as every year goes by. But what's it like being in that younger bracket?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just not as many friends, so younger friends that are into that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a little lonelier, I think. But no, I'm all right.
That
Yeah, I
guy
don't know.
gets dark.
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
Well,
Uh,
do you feel like you can, you're still friends. I'm sure you're friends with older birders too, right?
no, totally. I just, I like hanging out with younger people like yourselves.
Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes when you have people in your own age bracket, you kind of look at the world in a similar way. But I feel like when we were out birding in South Texas, there'd be tons of people who'd just be like, "Oh, Ryan, what do you think of this
Yeah,
butterfly photo?" Or "What do you think of this like bird I saw?"
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to your point though, I do feel like you get to know older people being a birder because they become your friends. And so, people are like, "Oh, what are your friends up to?" And instead of being like, "Oh yeah, this guy just had a kid," or this guy's on a hiking expedition, you're like, "Well, Tom just got a hip replacement, so he's out of the game for a while." You have like different stories to tell about your friends than you would if you were hanging out with just people your own age.
Yeah.
And then for a while, you didn't have, you have your driver's license now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Just
Yeah.
since like,
So what was it like before when you couldn't necessarily drive yourself around?
oh well, I'd hitch a ride with my parents, usually either my mom or my dad. I'd just have to beg them to take me places. And no, I mean they would like always take me places way more than they should have. And I'd hitch rides with birders, other birders too. Um, but yeah, it's nice that I can just you know go when I want now.
Has
Has
that
it
like
been,
opened the floodgates?
yeah.
Yeah,
So now you're just like all over the state pretty much, or do you still kind of hang out in the Rio Grande Valley?
yeah. I still kind of hang out down here. Texas is a big state.
It's true. I thought you would be all over the place, though, getting rarities in the north on a regular basis. You know, your parents are just like, we haven't seen Ryan in 4 weeks, you know, because you're just around the country, basically. I remember the first time we met you, though, we were at Benson State Park, and you just like rolled in on your bike. I remember you had like 2 feet on the peg on one side, just rolling in all cool. You let it just fall right down, and then you're just like, "There's the rose-throated Picard," and we're like, "We've been waiting for that for 2 hours," and that was the first experience we had with you.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I was like, hey, I think I recognize you guys.
Yeah.
That is how it went.
And then we found kites and stuff. It was
Yeah, we were
fun.
like, "You want to help us find the kites?" And you're like, "I guess." And then boom, that's how it went. And then you showed up everywhere after that, the National Butterfly Center, where you also found us a Tyrannulet. So that first time we met, you were kind of a hero. You were just like, boom, there's this, boom, there's that, green kingfisher over there. So we knew right away you were a pretty solid birder. And I see that you translated that well into doing a lot of guiding down there. So tell us a
Yeah,
little more about what you're doing now for guiding, where you're guiding, how often, some of the cool things that you've experienced with that.
yeah. I do guide a lot at the Santa Margarita Ranch, which is in Stark County. That's what's had, the mottled owl, the bare-throated tiger heron, have brown jays there since last March. There's like lots of rose-throated Beckards there, Audubon's oriole, all kinds of cool stuff. It's probably the coolest place in the valley, and it's a huge privilege to be able to guide there. So yeah, that's been really fun. Also been working with Tiffany Kirsten a little bit, been taking some of her overflow, and yeah, that's been fun too.
I can't help but notice you're a Beckard guy now, that you
Oh,
pronounce it
no,
Beckard instead of
I've
Picard.
switched. I've switched.
What's up with that?
I believe Beckard is the correct pronunciation.
I don't know. We were talking to Simon about this as well. He said people from the West call it Beckard, people from the
Right,
East tend to call it Picard.
right.
I kind of like it. I like that there's a cultural difference. You know where someone's from.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, funny. I used to trash on everyone that said Beckard, but
Yeah, that's why I'm so shocked.
Yeah,
I,
it is.
I,
Oh, go ahead.
I say Picard still. I probably use it half and half. I'm trying to switch.
That looked uncomfortable for you to say. You're like, I say Picard.
What was but you originally you said like that you realized that you thought Beckard was right. What caused that?
Um, I think it was probably my buddy Nolan. He was the one.
Nolan.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was the
just
one.
like, this is right. And you're like, okay, Nolan.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
So I was gonna ask because I'm still in the Rio Grande Valley group chat. What are
Yeah.
some of the things that the people want you to find for them most often when you're not at Santa Margarita? Is it usually the consistent flow of fantail warbler, gray-collared Picard, or is there see Picard, not Peckard, or is there some stuff that is kind of off the wall and left field that people are like, "Hey, can you find this for me?"
Like when I'm guiding, you
Yeah,
mean? Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty much yeah, the gray colored Beckard and the fan warbler and the roadside hawk at Resaca. But yeah, that's pretty much what most people want to see. I do enjoy doing those other tours where the people are like just beginning to the valley and they haven't seen an ultimate oriole yet. So I'm like, okay, we can go basically anywhere to look for that. So get to go to a few different places.
do you
Yeah.
specifically avoid going to Resaca in those times just because you're there
Not,
probably every day?
not really. Not really. Yeah, I mean, if that's usually where I start. Uh, even if it's their first time, just because it's so good. Um, but yeah, and then but I'll go to different places after that usually.
So as cool as it is to show people a lot of those rare birds, do you ever get kind of sick of going to see the same things?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Because I feel like
Yeah,
it'd be tough getting like if you grind really hard to get one of those rare birds one day and then the next day having to do the same thing over again.
yeah,
It sounds like it'd be kind of tough.
yeah. I mean, I'm always happy. I'm always happy to do it. And the gray collared is like a super sick bird. I love looking at that thing. But if I'm at Resaca by myself, I'm not gonna look for it. I don't care. But no, I do care. I just you know have other things to look for.
Yeah, what is the stuff that you're most interested in finding by yourself now? So whether it's in state or out of state, what's the next thing on your list that you're interested in finding?
I'd love to find a tawny colored nightjar in Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like probably Santa
Mexican, right?
Margarita.
probably. Yeah, or
They don't live too far away from Texas, right? They've been found some miles away from the border.
probably they probably breed about 50 miles from the border. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
You would hope that since the mottled owl got pushed up and is in kind of a similar situation, that you could get one of those at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, I think mottled owl is way more regular than the few records we have suggest.
Oh, why do you think that?
Um, just because it's so common, it's basically like it's as common as roadside hawk, where roadside hawk is. So we have so many roadside hawk records. We have got like 16 now or something. I think we probably have like at least as many mottled owl records.
I would think
And
that
this,
it's probably something that's just hard for the regular birder to see, or even just think to look for, I guess.
yeah, oh, definitely, yeah, yeah. If we had more night coverage, like at Resaca or Santa Ana, I'm sure this stuff would be found more often.
Yeah, definitely. So what are some of the favorite things that you've seen lately, whether on your tours or just kind of by yourself?
Favorite recent sighting was probably the last time I saw the fan-tailed warbler. It hopped right up at my feet, just hopped right by. It was the first time I got to hear it call too, so that was neat. Um,
Is it on the
yeah,
styrofoam?
it was near the styrofoam. Yeah, yeah, it was. We were waiting by the styrofoam, and then I heard it call just a little bit north of there. I was like, I think that's the fan-tailed warbler, and we went up, and it just like hopped right up to our feet. It was nice.
Yeah, I feel like your ear skills are really, really good. And I have a story from Justin Leclerc that you need to corroborate if it's true or not. He said that you were on the phone and you were just like this, and you were just like, Lap and Longspur. And that was like his county record or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I was on the phone with someone who wanted to go to the ranch at Resaca. It's the day after the gray colored record was found, and I was just going to Resaca to mess around and see what else I could find. And yeah, I was standing there, and it was Justin and Mark Esparza were kind of next to me, and I stepped off to answer the phone. And then I hear these birds go over in the background while I'm talking. And they're going like, I'm like distracted, and the person on the phone was like, "Hello, hello," because I wasn't. And then I forget what Justin said. But once I hung up, I was like, "I think those were long spurs, guys." Um, and yeah, we sort of reasoned that they were Lapland based off of a few things. But yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. How do you feel like you trained your ear skills? Was it just because you started so young, or do you do any kind of anything special?
I do listen to tapes like a lot. But yeah, I feel like it's more just just trying to pay attention to everything you're hearing when you're out birding, and yeah, especially things that are flying over.
I feel like in Texas,
Yeah,
especially, there's always stuff flying over, especially like pipits and things.
Very helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the flyover sighting, well, it's not really a sighting, but hearing it by flyover, I think there's a lot more that flies over than people realize, I think. So if you are good at listening for those flight calls, you can get a lot of birds that other people don't get. And
Yep.
then it's always confusing on a list when somebody will list like, yeah, I saw 50 Lapland longspurs, and it's like in the city. And then you have to basically reason it was a flyover. But I was going to ask you, because this is a little bit of a controversy, do you
Okay.
count birds that are herd only
Oh yeah.
on your life list?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Okay, some people say that they don't count them. They're like, I need to see them. And then there
Right.
was a guy when we were in the valley who said that if you are taking a picture of birds and later you notice one that's a lifer, you can't count it. Even though I think some people will say you can count it.
Yeah, that one. If I take a shot of like a Bonaparte's gull flock, and then I look back and there's a little gull, and it'd be like a county bird for me or something. Like I didn't look at the little gull and say that was a little gull. I found it afterwards, so I didn't see the bird. You know, well, I might have, but I didn't consciously know it.
What if
So
you
you'd
see
say
it?
no.
What if you see it and it looks different, and then you take a picture of it, and then you identify it later as a little goal? You
Yeah,
count it then?
I guess if I see it, I'm like, I think that's a little goal, and then just take a bunch of shots and then find a little goal in there later. Yeah, I think I'd count that.
Okay, we found the line.
Where
What if
have you
you?
all been? Like, you're stationed Central te or South Texas. Where have you been able to travel so far?
I've been to Arizona, New Mexico a little bit, California, Florida, North Carolina. Um, I've been to Wisconsin.
Hey,
I think that about covers it. I've been to Panama. I've been to the Galapagos, and yeah, that's it.
that's an awesome list for being 16. Like, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like some people who are like 50, 60 probably haven't even been to that many places. Do you think South Texas is the best place to bird, or did one of those top South Texas for you?
Yeah, I think I would have a lot of fun birding in Arizona just because of how the birding works there. Like trying to find eastern vagrants. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think I'd stick with South Texas.
It's a pretty great spot. I feel like Arizona, even though they have so many, well, first of all, I don't know if I would like finding Eastern rarities because I'd be like, oh, it's a black and white warbler.
Yeah,
Cool. Like, I don't
That's
know. I'd
true.
probably be better at that, finding them as rare birds. But I feel like South Texas, I have this idea that it's more beginner friendly because I feel like you go there, you can get a green jay like in your face. In
Mm,
Arizona, I feel like you might have to like go to some different habitats to get specific
sure.
species.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, like a Trogon, you might have to walk a few miles for up a canyon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the green jays are just they're probably sleeping in these trees around me right now.
I love that thought.
Yeah.
So, what's the next place that you're planning on going that you're excited about? I'm assuming that you have some trips scheduled.
Yeah, I'm actually headed to Hawaii.
Ooh.
So the goal this time, there's a single Akikiki left in the wild. My my goal is to see it. So
There's only one?
only one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like one species or one singular bird?
Singular bird left in
Oh,
the wild.
wow. So you literally have to find the one needle in the haystack. Do they have any in captivity?
There's like 50, 60 birds in captivity.
Wow.
Yeah.
that's wild. I didn't hear about that. I'm gonna look it up.
So that's like you're going there just for that then?
Pretty much. Yeah. My grandparents were going anyway. Um, and I told them about this bird and they were like, "Hey, you should come with us." And I'm taking a buddy along with me so we can drive the rental car.
Oh, nice. That's
I
a good
bet
move.
I bet they really had to pull your leg to get you to come along.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last thing I see 1 week ago, yeah, 12 days ago, there's believed to be a single one left in the wild.
Yeah.
She has a name. It's
Kelly.
yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Last sighting was February 10th.
Yeah.
So it's still around.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. I think that
It,
sounds like an awesome adventure though.
yeah. Yeah. I hope it's still alive by the time we get there.
When are you going?
I'm leaving Saturday, but
Oh, perfect.
we won't go up to the spot until the 7th.
So there's a Akikiki Akikii and then an Akiki Akeekee.
Yeah, I think that one's pronounced like Akeke or something.
Okay.
And then there's a thrush that I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce, which is also a big target. But the Akeke, I think, is like almost even harder than
That one
the
says it's critically endangered.
because I think their deal is they wander around a ton, and the
Ah,
Akikiki like it's certain territory.
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, Hawaii sounds wild. Even just looking at these names, I'm like, if we went to film a video here, I would have no idea how to pronounce these.
Yeah,
I'd just be like, we saw a bird out there, and then just have it on
yeah.
screen. Are you guys going with a local, or are you just yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought there were gonna be more birds, so I was like, okay, we can probably just find it on our own. Just but we planned 2 days, 2 full days in the area. Um, but now it turns out area that I was thinking of looking in, there are no longer birds in. There are no more Akikiki there. And yeah, we would have missed it if we hadn't gotten in touch with a local who knows the spot. So
Yeah. Wow.
I wonder how much of Hawaii people check in and is accounted for because it's complicated because of the island situation, and I just don't know how much habitat there is searched or unsearched. It's
yeah,
kind of a real wild card because there's so much feral stuff there now too.
yeah,
That's got to be one of the weirdest places to go birding, I would think, in the whole world.
yeah. It is. It is really weird. It's pretty depressing too. We're walking through like pristine forest, and you just hear nothing at all. It's like just dead quiet. Maybe you'll hear a few like warbling white eyes, which is the used to be Japanese white eye, invasive, and they're everywhere. Sort of in the lower elevations too, but they get up into that native forest as well.
Yeah, it looks kind of random because like on this trail, there's a sighting 10/15/23, and then not another one until January 14th. So I don't know how many people are actually going
Right.
and looking.
I've been told it's a really tough hike.
Colima warbler style hike,
Yeah.
maybe worse.
That's the thing too, though, is I don't know how many people go there birding because now I think it's part of the ABA, right? Hawaii. So I
Yeah.
guess there should technically be more people, but I don't think I hear a lot of people saying, that's one of their destinations that they're really excited to go birding usually, even though it's one with such strange stuff.
Yeah. Does have very strange things. Really cool birds.
So are they planning on breeding these and then sending them back out in the wild?
That's the plan. But they first need to eradicate mosquitoes from the areas where they're going to release the birds, because that's the whole problem.
Yeah, what's the deal? Is it not like where are mosquitoes not native to Hawaii? Is that what it was?
I think there I think there were probably native mosquitoes, but the non-native ones are the problem that have avian malaria, and they're just taking out all the birds.
Wow. So they're to get that island back on track from an ecological perspective, they're probably going to have to somehow do a mass scale destruction of many invasive animals there, if that's
Yeah.
ever what they're planning on doing, which I don't know if
Okay.
they.
I think a lot of the areas where there are native birds are areas that have been cleared of like the feral hogs, and they're all fenced off so that no feral hogs can get in. Yeah, they've already been doing like a lot of work out there when it comes to taking care of invasive things.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It would be cool to see some sort of documentary, honestly, on Hawaii and the process that they're having to go through to try to get stuff back on track. And I didn't
Yeah.
know almost nothing about it because no one ever talks about it.
Mm.
But hopefully they can do something.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think climate change is also a part of that, because the mosquitoes have been able to get to higher elevations because of the warming temperatures. Um, and so the birds have been retreating upwards, but there's only so far they can go up.
Hmm.
That just is not ideal for them.
Yeah, wow. Well, you're gonna have to give us a report on what it's been like out there. Is that the first time you're going, or you've been there before?
Been there before, and that time I didn't. I regret it a lot, but I didn't plan at all, and just kind of showed up at the hiking spot. Didn't drive. Didn't have a four-wheel drive car. Had a little sedan that we couldn't make over the river crossing, so we had to walk eight. We had to walk like I think it was like 4.5 miles to the actual trailhead. And I had my grandfather with me, and he wasn't able to do the trail, so we had to turn back. So yeah, hopefully this time. I planned a lot. I got it all set up. Me and my buddy got it all taken care of. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
I
We can
think
get
we're
that.
gonna need you to do a little vlog style of, looking for that because
Okay.
that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
We can be like our field correspondent, Ryan Rodriguez, live from Hawaii.
Dude, what would be even cooler if you found it and it had a mate or something? That'd be so
Oh,
neat.
or like a mate, and it had like three chicks or something. It's like,
Ooh,
There's
that's the dream.
yeah,
The
or like
species might live on.
yeah, that'd be so cool.
He's like, I caught a copulation on camera, guys.
Gosh. Would be important for the species though.
I like how you came prepared with a driver this time too. You're not only just like, we're renting something with four-wheel drive. You're like, I also brought a driver.
Well, he can't rent a car. You got to be
Oh, I
like
know. I'm well
25. Yeah.
aware.
Okay.
But
Just
I
making
like that
sure.
he's like driver secured,
Yeah.
car secured, local knowledge secured.
So
Yeah.
aside from that one bird, what are some of your other targets in Hawaii?
Oh, just the natives. I don't care much for exotics when it comes to Hawaii.
Yeah,
I just I'd rather sea watch and just watch wedge-tailed shearwaters all day.
So what then is your take on the parrots that are in Texas?
Uh the like if they're native or not.
Well, do you like them? Do you get excited by them? You know, when you see a yellow-headed parrot, does that make you excited? Or you're like, get out of my state?
No, no. I like the parrots. They do their roost is my house. They roost in my house.
the
Uh the,
greens.
the red crown parrots.
Oh, okay.
The McAllen roost is like right on my house basically. So they just fly
Oh,
all all morning, even like the middle of the night, and they make a racket. But I still like them.
I was gonna say, is that annoying?
Yeah, it is. It is. I like the parakeets a lot more. They do funny things. I like watching them.
yeah, they're cool. What's your take on the cattle tyrant?
Whether it should be counted or not.
Whether it should be counted or not. It was kind of funny because we were talking to people in the valley last time. Like, yeah, I swung up to get the cattle tyrant in Corpus Christi. I just felt dirty. Like going to, I don't know if they're talking about the city or counting it for their list, but people just seem very mixed about going to see it and if it should be counted or not.
Yeah, I think it should be counted because I think the ABA, I might be wrong on this. I think the ABA says that ship assists are okay as long as they haven't been assisted by human.
Correct.
Yeah. Like someone feeding it, keeping it in a cage or something. But if it just hops on the ship and hops off on its own, then it's good. I think that's totally what the cattle tyrant did. Just because they just wander around, uh, little harbors in South America, and it probably just saw a boat, was like, this looks cool, and hopped on the boat. That boat probably had a dumpster or something, had a bunch of flies. It was like chowing down on the flies, made it in the Gulf of Mexico. It's like, I'm gonna go for a little fly around, and then it showed up in Corpus. Like this looks just like my home.
I would love to get the full story from some person that was driving a ship, and they're just like, yeah, for a few weeks we had this yellow bird that was with us. We named him Larry, and he ate all the flies from our garbage cans. The Derek has a theory. Derek, why don't you tell him your hypothesis on the truth behind what happened?
I was saying it was probably like, they carried a dumpster and it was just living in the dumpster and then they put the dumpster back and they're like, bam, tyrant.
Yeah.
Somebody said maybe it was a cattle ship. They said maybe they were transporting cows from like Brazil or something and then, exporting them north. I don't know the validity of that, but one of our commenters said that. And then somebody else was asking if there was a way to get it back to where it belongs. And I don't think anybody really has interest in putting it back where it belongs because they're not rare. So it doesn't seem like it'd really be a relevant thing to do.
Yeah.
So we made like a little short video about it and it did really well. It got over 3 million views on Instagram. But the main comments were people thought Corpus Christi was ugly. They're like, this is America. This is like a third world country. And it's like the back of an alley. I was like, no city's back alley is going to look perfect.
It was
And
like an
then,
abandoned apartment building too with a dumpster directly underneath it or something.
yeah, it wasn't on the normal street. It was like the back of that. And then other people would be like, I see these all the time in Michigan. So people just think that they're probably like goldfinches or whatever. But those are like the two big things was Corpus Christi is ugly and then people not realizing what it actually is. And they think they see him all the time.
Love
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So how do you feel like the birding world has changed from maybe like, do you feel like we've had a surge of new people interested in birding since COVID?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I think that was one good thing that COVID did. It brought a lot of new birders, including even to an extent myself. Uh, I was always kind of birding just on the weekends, but when I got online school, I had a lot more free time. I was like, I like to go birding, so I just went birding a lot more, and probably learned a lot due to it. And yeah, it just made me into a more hardcore birder.
So being homeschooled, how much did it change your school, actually?
How do you mean?
Like COVID, because isn't most of your school like done at home anyways?
Oh, actually, I've only been homeschooled for a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
We've been lied to.
Yeah. Who told you that?
I don't know
I
if
don't know.
anybody explicitly told us that, but we just assumed probably because when someone says someone's homeschooled, you kind of assume they were always homeschooled.
Yeah,
Be honest, did you decide to go homeschool just for bird related reasons?
100%.
100% did you just say? Okay, gotcha. You like shook your head no, and then it cut out for a second, and then it was just like 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I clearly did make you very hardcore then.
So how have you found the school birding balance to go? Do you feel like you are on track of a normal
No,
16-year-old? No.
not at all.
You're-
I need to get that's kind of what I'm doing this week, actually.
So where would you say your education is compared to like a normal 16-year-old? Do you feel like
Like
you're ahead,
second grade reading
behind?
level.
Oh, no, probably like a fourth grade reading level. No, I'm doing all right. I just need to catch up.
I feel
Well,
like
I think
that's
the driver's license at least is heading you in the right direction to catch up. We
Yeah.
have a friend who still has not gotten his driver's license since he's 18. So, and I don't think he finished school yet either. So you're doing better
I
than.
feel like he's gonna now that he's the license, he's gonna spend even less time on school because he's gonna be like, why would I work on school? And I could just drive wherever I want to go.
Have you considered at all just not continuing school and just starting your own bird guide business?
I've definitely thought about it, but don't tell my parents that I said that.
Better tell him not to watch this.
No, yeah, I'm just joking. They're gonna make me send them the podcast, so they will watch it. But yeah, I'm just joking.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, sure.
but yeah, I probably opt to stay in school.
Do you think you're gonna head to college
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere in Texas.
and study bio,
Yeah,
going to
that,
birding, PhD research?
probably not. probably probably just undergrad, maybe.
Yeah. Um, I know LSU has a really great ornithology program. Might be
Yeah,
worth looking into, stay in the Gulf
they do.
if you do
Yeah,
decide to do that.
yeah. There's a small
Or is it
problem.
going to be Texas, Rio Grande Valley?
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. I kind of want to get out of the valley though. As much as I love it, just for a little bit.
You could go to UW-Madison.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. He's sold.
What were you were saying there's a problem?
Oh, with LSU. Oh, it's just my family's football team is Notre Dame, and
Oh,
our head coach left to go to LSU. So
yeah.
we're at LSU now.
If it helps, they're not doing that great.
Yeah, I know. It makes me very happy.
Very good. What are some of the best bird experiences that you remember? So, like, what stories do you have of either when you really had to grind to find a species or just one that really stuck out to you?
Uh, Hardest I worked for a bird. Let's see. Probably the tiger heron. Yeah, probably the tiger heron. We went out the day after it was found and just like stood in the freezing cold rain for like 5 hours. We're like, this sucks. And we went back and warmed up and waited for Zach and Simon to get there to help us search. And so we went down and like kicked around in the mud and we were like messing around near the river and we didn't find it. And I went back to the ranch like 2 or 3 times until it just like flushed out of the ditch when we were walking up. So yeah, worked really hard for like 3 days and then didn't find it. And then it just appeared.
And then, how do you feel about the fact that now it's just there all the time, seemingly?
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We do still have to work for it, actually. It hangs out sort of behind that bend in the river that you can't see from the bluff.
Hmm.
But we've been seeing it from the bluff lately. I know it's been getting hard because it's been getting really hot down here. the high today was like 96 degrees.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's been getting hard because it goes and hides back in the reeds more. But yeah.
What is birding like in the valley in summer? How does the landscape for what birds show up change? Because I know people have said that anis are everywhere in summer down
Yeah.
there. What other
Yeah.
stuff is very common in summer?
Stuff that's common in summer. I mean, brown crested flycatchers
Hmm.
are so common. Bronze cowbirds are everywhere. There's whistling ducks everywhere. That's when yellow-green vireo shows up. They typically show up. They have a weird habitat preference. It's like this, like not super tall hackberry mixed sort of half open Tepeguaje forest. Pretty distinctive looking, but just kind of a weird habitat. They've been on Cannon Road in Cameron County the past few years. Other summer stuff. We get short-tailed hawk sometimes in summer. Wanderers from Mexico. As occasional sulfur-bellied flycatcher. But yeah, the vagrants in summer just, I don't know if it's that we just don't get them or the fact that there's zero people out birding to actually look for them. It could be that. But yeah, you kind of get to bird for like 2 hours and then you're done.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Was there a bird that you chased in the valley that really eluded you other than the tiger heron that like you still haven't seen yet that you still need for your life list?
Few county birds, but nothing. Yeah, nothing like life list. I don't think. I've looked for a few green-breasted mangoes. Haven't seen that. Yeah, yeah. Not that I can think of.
Gotcha. I mean, that's pretty solid. So, any plans to make a trip up north anytime soon?
Up north,
Fields Bear?
that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I do need to do it eventually, but yeah, probably not anytime soon.
Have you been to Sac Zim before?
No.
Okay. I feel like you'd probably really like it up there.
I think
Yeah.
you and Justin should come up together, actually.
Yeah, totally. Be nice.
I agree. Well, awesome. Ryan, did you have anything else? Any other questions for Ryan?
I don't think so. I guess I do have one. Like, where do you see all of the bird stuff ending up for you? So, like, what's your goal in the long run? You know, what would you hope to achieve and kind of be at in terms of either a business or what you have planned for the future?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I'd love to do guiding. It's definitely growing on me as a job, being able to take people out to the ranch and working with Tiffany. It's been great.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I got.
How can people, well, first of all, I can say when we went with you, you were a fantastic guide. And everything I've heard from other people that have gone out and had you as a guide have been like, yeah, Ryan's amazing. He's fantastic. How can people get in touch if they want to do a tour with you?
They can reach out to me. My phone number is on my phone number and email are on my eBird account. You can reach out to Tiffany. Yeah.
All right. Well, neat. Thanks so much, Ryan, for joining us. And thanks everyone for watching this episode of the Badgerland Birding Podcast.